Hey, good evening, everyone. Just give me a second. We're just still getting set up here. Uh, Thank you guys for joining tonight. So just give me a few minutes and we will go ahead and get started. Da, 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 da. We will go ahead and get started here in just a few seconds. Quick mic check. Just make sure my sound's coming through. Quick mic check. There we go. All right. All right. Good evening. Hope everybody's having a good night. So thank you everyone for joining. So quick introduction. In fact, let me back up here just a little bit, refresh this webpage. So as you guys know, this is an adventure channel, and primarily don't do this, but I feel like I know some information and I like researching things. So I definitely wanted to go ahead and discuss this with everyone because there are a lot of investors involved with SHE Beverage. And so I started researching all of their facts, all of their information, right after I found out the SEC was pursuing them and suing them. Um, it's been going on for quite some time, but tonight we're going to discuss everything going on with SHE Beverage as far as what I know and what can be proven publicly. So there won't be any secret agendas, nothing that you guys can't find on your own. In fact, during the course of this live stream, which will probably take maybe an hour and a half to about maybe 2 hours, because I want to make sure I go through everything. And a lot of you have commented on my previous videos because you haven't seen any other updates. You haven't seen videos. And what's also interesting is a lot of the local newspapers that are in the Antelope Valley only reported about the SEC, only reported about the SEC after the SEC lawsuit. And so there has been a number of other lawsuits before this, which I'm surprised didn't make the news. And it's something that should have been disclosed to all investors. Give me one quick second. All right. So we're going to cover all the information that I've researched to help out you investors, and also it's a point of concern because I know a lot of you believe, or some there may be some people out there who believe that these individuals are innocent, and I am a strong individual to of the court system and someone being innocent until proven guilty. But there's just way too much information that proves that they did had some wrongdoing here, which you will find out in this video. Again, everything can be found out publicly, and it's a crime shame that I'm the one telling you all this information. It should come from the reps from the company. This is stuff that should have been covered years ago because some of this stuff is not brand new. It's about 3 to 4 years old. And why hasn't the individuals who got you guys involved in this situation spoken out about this? How come they haven't called lawyers? How come they haven't called maybe the SEC or ABC? because some of you have watched my videos. I've seen some of you comment in some of the Facebook groups. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. But according to my information and everything that I do have, it's my knowledge that a lady, in fact, let me pull up their photos here so you guys can see who these people are. Let's go 1 second. We will go ahead and pull up some of their information. All right, so these are the ladies that is currently being pursued right now by the SEC. The gentleman over here, I believe, is the brother of Sonja, the one he's standing next to. This is Dirden, who's also listed in the SEC. And then this is Lupe Rose. She is the CEO of SHE Beverage. So let me go ahead and pull up my little monitor here. So these are the three that are being tried right now. And a lot of this stuff goes really deep. In fact, some of the stuff that I'm going to share with you tonight, not even ABC was aware of it. The Alcohol Beverage Consumption Committee, they're the people that, or the government sec that allows businesses to have breweries. So, just for a quick instance, um, I know that one of the falsifications that they filed, um, I'm not sure if it's a legal issue, but just to let you guys know here. Here on the website, it says woman-owned bottled water and beer manufacturer. As during the course of this video, you'll see why this is false. So ever since their own get-go, they have been misleading a number of individuals. And I do know, I'm probably sure that they're going to be friends or family members watching this video. And there were some people trying to defend these individuals online as well, but there's too much information that you can find and research publicly that speaks to what they either did or what they did wrong. All right, so She Beverage was initially started, to my knowledge, back in 2009, 2010. Lupe Rose here termed the coin Queen of Beers, and then she was subsequently sued, or there was a trademark dispute with, I believe it was Anheuser-Busch, because they have King of Beers. Now, typically when you file a trademark, this hurt. Well, when she filed this trademark, she started the company with Sonja. Dirden came around probably 2014, 2015, based upon the information that I have. And so when she filed this lawsuit, there's some videos of her on YouTube saying, "Oh, y'all, they're coming after me." And so she filed the lawsuit. I'm sorry, she filed her trademark, the Queen of Beers, without a lawyer. So basically, she went into this uh, creating a similar name to Anheuser-Busch's King of Beers, going into this without any lawyer backing or being represented by a lawyer. And that's really foolish to do when you're going up against billion-dollar companies. Trademarks are a really big thing. It substantiates who you really are in the commerce place when you're starting a company. And so that name was just way too similar. And that's one of the reasons why her trademark did not get submitted. In addition to that, when she filed this trademark, according to the court documents and the trademark filing, she said that she had no intentions of really using it. And you will see that here throughout the course of this video that Lupe Rose has a tendency to start trademarks without the act of actually using it. And typically, what people have tried to do is maybe make a trademark and then try to sell it off to another company because they own the rights. But you can't do that because you have to have an intention of use. So that's the basis of how She Beverage also got started. And also, there's some other videos of Lupe Rose doing some TV interviews and things of that nature. So she just seems to kind of bounce around all the place and not be steadfast in anything for a number of years. And then Katherine Dirden, this is her here. She came around 2015. So let's go ahead and get into it. So over here we have SHE Beverage Company. This is their website. And as you guys know, they haven't sent out any mailers. They haven't sent any text messages or phone calls letting anybody know that they were being sued. They're probably under the impression or under the advise of their legal counsel not to make any phone calls or say anything to anybody. But you really can't do that when you have investors. The other thing is, while people try to proclaim their innocence, why didn't they pick up the phone and say, "Hey, homie, we got shut down January 21st." They didn't say anything. They haven't told any investors that they got shut down back in January 21st of 2021. They just went, as just went ahead as business was usual and didn't say anything. And so keep in mind, there are a lot of people who invested $300,000, 100,000, 50,000, $25,000, and you have a responsibility as a CEO or company, especially when you have investors, to let people know what's going on with their money. So again, I first found out about this situation September 16th. We already did a video on this. I'm not going to go over the entire lawsuit. There's some accusations here as far as mail fraud, as well as some other things. And all this stuff here can be proven. Plus, you guys will see the additional information that I will show you tonight. But they're guilty as hell. That's just my take on it. So, with that being said, so here's the original lawsuit or the SEC filing. And so I believe the timeline, in case you guys didn't know, which I'm going to let you guys know now, there's approximately 6 to maybe 7 lawsuits that has been filed against SHE Beverage. And what I believe is one of those parties in that lawsuit uh, became a whistleblower. Maybe they alerted alcohol beverage and consumption to let them know what this company was doing or not doing right. They went to check them out January of 2021. And then, of course, I believe that ABC, alcohol beverage and consumption, notified the SEC, and then this is how their lawsuit got started. And then on top of it, just so guys let you know, I did research some documents. It's really been hard to find. I'm not sure if SHE Beverage currently has a trademark, but I do know that the SHE Beverage name or trademark, I believe that expired on August 11th, 2021. So just a few weeks before this lawsuit was filed, they didn't even re-register their trademark. And unfortunately, that was the last piece of information I could not find or pull up tonight. I pulled up everything else. I did research it several months ago, but yeah. So back in August 11th, 2021, their trademark expired. And personally, I believe she also used some of these funds for additional business ventures, which you guys will see tonight because there's like 75 different trademarks she filed in addition, and none of them have anything to do with beer, water, or some type of alcohol. There's pretty much some weird stuff going on here with this. So this was the original SEC filing. This was filed back on September 15th, 2021. This was the original video that I posted a few weeks ago when I went to go check them out. And so I'm just going to jump ahead just a little bit because some of you are probably still wondering, like, what is the big deal? What are they really being accused of? This is Lancaster, California, and this is in a workplace. And just to let you know that the particular area that they have their factory in, this particular factory that you guys have probably been in quite some time, I believe they've had business meetings here, is not zoned for the manufacturing or distribution of alcohol. That is illegal. So this building with their name on it in this zip code and on this little city street is illegal. There is no production of beer or any type of industrial light work or heavy work permitted in this area. And I'll get into that through the course of this video. So I've been doing a lot of research. I also spoke to the alcoholic beverage and control. They are the people that left this notice. This premises is supposed to be vacant. However, there's still people going in and out, and I got videos of that as well that you guys will see here tonight. So this is pretty much SHE Beverage, and again, this is a company that took in about $15 million or so, and the SEC is going after them for about 7 million, and probably plus damages and everything else. And obviously, this was filed in the city of Los Angeles, LA County, state of California, because their laws are a little bit more stricter on the city level, or actually the state level, than it is on federal. So these are obviously the ladies who is Katherine Dirden. You have Lupe Rose, and you also have Sonja Shelby, who were the original owners of this company. And not to kind of jump ahead a little bit, but you know what? I'm going to save this for last, but I want you guys to remember this website says woman-owned bottled water. I want you guys to remember that because we're going to come back to that in just a second. All right, so I think we've seen enough of this. So let's go ahead and close this one out. And we are going to jump all the way over here. Now, the reason why I believe this is important is because if a person is investing in a company, you're supposed to know all the good and the bad to find out if a company is going to be legitimate or not, or can they pay their bills on time. So the first lawsuit that was filed against She Beverage was back in August 2nd, 2017. And I do believe this case was dismissed December of 2017. This is the Lancaster marketplace. So that video that you guys just saw where they have their current facility, this is the landlord of that facility that you just saw in the video. Apparently, they filed a lawsuit against them, probably a rental dispute. It doesn't go into detail here. I don't have, excuse me, I don't have full access to all of it. But for whatever reason, particularly if I was an investor, this is stuff that people should know and you should know about because some people didn't even know they had any lawsuits against them. So the first lawsuit was filed uh, Lancaster Marketplace against She Beverage, who is a tenant. So I believe this was a rental dispute. The cool thing is this was dismissed. Everything was worked out. It says request for entry of dismissal. As you guys can see here, this was October 18th. So whatever the reason was for them being here was already addressed. Now I don't know what the specific reason is. If it's a zoning violation or maybe they had questions. I don't know. I don't know if this was a rental issue as far as them being able to pay their bills, but it's a lawsuit. And if you're an investor, you should know things like that. So this is the first lawsuit. So this is the first of about six lawsuits. One of the lawsuits has already been settled as of this month, and I'll show you guys that here in just a few minutes. But this isn't cool when you have investors and you're being sued. Now, some of the other claims that She Beverage made was that they had water that could cure cancer, which is a huge no-no because you got to get FDA approval to make any kind of claims like that. And then, of course, there could be some other additional backlash with, possible people who had cancer and other things and didn't, maybe they stopped taking their medication, started drinking this water. There could be grounds for that as well. So again, I don't know all the things that the SEC is going to go after them for. But apparently, the reason why they're going after them is because there's a lot of violations that they made in regards to how they handled um, the monies. Now, just to kind of jump ahead again, I did speak to the Alcoholic Beverage Commission a few weeks ago. And one of the problems that they have with this company, besides them not being in a proper zone area and trying to operate a distillery, that area that I showed you in the video is a commerce area. It is not made for industrial use. It is not zoned for that. So that in itself is illegal. Whether they go to court or not, you'll have the information to see it. But the problem is, even when I talk to ABC, they don't know who the investors are. Now, I spoke to one of the agents. I'm not going to, put her name or anything on here, but I told her who some of the investors were. I didn't mention any names. I said, hey, there are people that invested $100,000, $300,000, 25, 50,000. Yeah, people invest in $10,000. They have no record of any investors whatsoever. And that's part of the problem with this lawsuit. So if you're watching this video and you're an investor, they don't know who you are. They have no idea how much money, according to the information I researched, they have no idea how much money they've received. And all of that is supposed to be filed with the state of California. Now, jumping back to that crappy website where it says woman owned or She Beverage owner, woman owned distillery and brewery. So after speaking to ABC, the another problem that they have with their filing is if anybody, investors, I hope you're listening, if anybody invested 10% or more into this company, you are an owner of the company. I'm going to say that again. Investor, if you invested 10% or more, according to what the ABC informed me, if you invested 10% or more into this company, you are also an owner. So that takes away the fact that they are a woman owned beverage company that they have falsified on their website. So I asked them, I said, well, what exactly is 10%? The problem, they don't know because there's no record or allocation that shows how much money these people received to start their investment. And if you gave 10, I think she said if it was 10% or more, or if you're an investor in this company, your name is supposed to be on the Secretary of State website that they use to file. So this is the file that is listed here with the state of California. You guys can go to the Secretary of State website. This is all stuff you can pull up yourself. I will put this in the chat so you guys can pull it up. So this is the information from the Secretary of State. This isn't something I conjured up. You guys can go check it out yourself. So you have Katherine Dirden. She actually filed. I don't know why Lupe Rose didn't file. I don't know why they had to wait to Katherine Dirden did it. And then you also have Sonja Shelby. Her name is on here. And you also have Lupe Rose. She's also on here as well. So again, Mr. Investor or Mrs. Investor, if you invested 10% or more, your name should be on here as well. The only problem is that's one of the things they're trying to find out. Now, I will show you guys here a little bit later, but I do know where the shares are being kept. I do have that information. I'll give you guys the phone number and the website to that as well. But if you invested 10% or more, you are an owner of this company and your name should be here. And that is one of the problems and one of the things that ABC is investigating because they falsified this application. Moving on really quick. So we have this lawsuit, we have that, we also have the business search. So this is the okay, so this is just the additional Secretary of State website. In fact, I'll go ahead and post this here as well. Again, this is all information you can find yourself. I think I spent about 5 days researching all this stuff. All right, so this is the SHE Beverage Company. This is listed as Katherine Dirden is the angel for process. And another thing is, we don't know how much money Lupe Rose actually put into her own company. So there's probably more people who invested more money in this company than she did, which would make you a majority holder, that kind of thing. So some of the additional problems that SHE Beverage is going to face right now, after speaking to ABC, they didn't keep a record of minutes, dates, times, do's and don'ts. All of those things need to be included with the SEC filing. So whatever they gave people for their SEC filing and let people know that they're buying securities and whatnot, all the documents were falsified and they didn't do it the correct legal way. That is why they are being sued. This is why they are going to court. And so this is going to get really tricky for them. Again, there's already 6 other lawsuits. One of them already settled. I'll show you guys who those people are here in just a few minutes. But this is all the information that they kept from you. All right. Just jumping ahead really quickly here. So, as you guys have known, this is the city of Lancaster. Let me back out so you guys can see it. This is the city of Lancaster zoning map. This lets you know where you could have your business. Now, when I first found out where the SHE Beverage facility was, I said to myself, well, that's kind of a weird place to have a brewery. I mean, typically you have it in an industrial area. And I'm familiar with, the area. And I said, well, that's a commerce place. That's where you have businesses or restaurants and stuff. You wouldn't open up a brewery there. I mean, typically that's in a warehouse environment or industrial. And I started thinking about different parts of the city, and I was right. I was like, so I talked to the city of Lancaster, and you can call the city of Lancaster and ask for the zoning map. I don't have their phone number in front of me. Maybe I'll add it later because I spoke to them for about a good 30 minutes, and so they weren't aware that they were doing this. So this is one of the reasons why they're also in hot water as well. In fact, let me. I think I have it in another window. Give me a second here because I want to show you guys where they were. Uh, just give me a second. No, those are all her. Oh yeah, you guys are gonna really love this information. You guys are gonna love that. Okay, I think this is it right here. Let me see if this is it. Let me pull it up here. Come on. I think my website's loading a little slow. I'm trying to pull. Okay, here it is. So this The two spots that you see here on the map, this is the city of Lancaster. This is SHE Beverage right here. I'm going to zoom in over here just a little bit so you guys can see it. That's SHE Beverage. This is where they're located, right here in this corner of this commerce city, which is not in an industrial area. And this other mark down here, this Suite 108, this was their original address. This Suite 108. And you know what? Crap. I didn't upload that video. Sorry about that. I actually drove around this area. So just so you guys know really quickly, this was their original address when they first filed for their SHE Beverage license. So this particular area that they were at was in an industrial area. You can see there's really nothing around there. You have other industrial like places. If you guys are familiar with Palmdale, Lancaster area, this is all industrial. You see there's nothing around here. There's the DMV. There's other businesses around there that does heavy metal and other work. But this over here is where they moved to. So I'm not sure if they're trying to flim flam ABC or their paperwork. But over here, let me see here. You can see this map lines up with where they were. So let me go ahead and zoom in. This map is a little difficult to move around. All right. And let me zoom back in on this and then kind of overlay the two. I'll drag it back over so you guys can see it. All right. So this is SHE Beverage. Take a look at the geographical formation. You see where they are. This is over here by Movies 22. This is the Jethawk Stadium here. In fact, let me blow this up on the screen so you guys can see all of it. There we go. All right, so this is the Jethawk Stadium. This is the SHE Beverage location here. And this is the city of Lancaster zoning map. So this is the area we're going to pay attention to right here. And I spoke to them and they said all the areas in the gray are zoned for light industrial work. So let's take a look at the city of Lancaster zoning map really quick. This is the gray area, as you can see it. And you guys can pull this website up on yourself. There is the zoning. Heavy industrial, light industrial, dark gray, light gray. Red is commercial. So the interesting thing is I did speak to the city of Lancaster and they didn't know that ABC sent them a notice. And they said, well, if they found out or knew that this business was trying to start or open a brewery, city enforcement would take care of business. So this is the area that they have their business. This is where they were originally. And as you can see, where they first filed for their business license or for their ABC license, they were in a zoned area. This is, let me go ahead and zoom in on it. It's actually this part right here. I'm sorry. Yeah, this area right here. So this is Avenue L8 in the particular area that they were in, and they were not operating in an industrial based location over off of Lancaster Marketplace. So all this gray area, and then there's little pieces of it here all through Lancaster. That's where they could operate. All this little stuff over here, not in this little marketplace area. So that's a huge no. So that's another reason why they were shut down. So again, as I said at the beginning of this broadcast, I do believe people are innocent. I do believe people can go through the whole legal process and we have to wait to evidence. But there's no way they're going to get around this. There's just no way. I mean, they were in the wrong the entire time. And what's even really bad is even just last week, there's a notice on the door, and one of the guys was over there and told me he didn't know anything about the sign. And the sign is still on the door. In fact, let's go ahead and play that clip right now. Okay, so, but they're still open because I saw a sign on the door that they got shut down or something.
Not that I know of. I wasn't told. One of the owners sent me out here to start painting behind the bar area.
Right.
I guess they're gonna have some showings this coming week or something. Not sure. You would have to contact them.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering because I saw that sign on the door right there that says the alcoholic beverage shut them down. So.
Right. Yeah. I don't know about that. But yeah, you have to call the owner.
Okay. Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play that clip again. So this is me talking to some random worker. He was driving by. He was actually working there. I was driving by. just asked him a few questions. And he said one of the owners sent him over there to do work because they were scheduling a wine tasting or had a tasting event coming up. Now, there's a huge sign on that door that says nobody is supposed to be in there. Okay. He claims he doesn't know anything about it. So how can you be a construction worker working under code doing certain things? He said he was there to put in some tiles or whatever the case might be. And so I did speak to ABC and they asked if that sign was still on the door. And I said, yeah, the sign is still there, but he's working there and he's acting like he doesn't see anything. So I'm not sure how they're going to handle that. But if you're a worker, you're contracted to do something, you still have to operate by the laws and everything that's applicable. I mean, even if a fire marshal came out and put a sign on the door saying, do not enter these premises, nobody can tell you to go back to work. So that's essentially what's going on here. So, yeah, I don't want to hear that talk about people being innocent, but while they're still trying to do shady stuff, still operating under the radar because that's what's going on right here. All right, so again, we are back to the map. Actually, no, let me go ahead and play this.
But they're still open because I saw a sign on the door that they got shut down or something.
Not that I know of. I wasn't told. One of the owners sent me out here to start painting behind the bar area.
Right.
I guess they're gonna have some showings this coming week or something. Not sure. You would have to contact them.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering because I saw that sign on the door right there that says the alcoholic beverage shut them down. So.
Right. Yeah. I don't know about that. But yeah, you have to call the owner.
Okay. Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. All right.
All right, so there you have it. There's one of the workers there, contracted workers, saying he doesn't know what the heck is going on, even though he's working inside the building. So again, this is the city of Lancaster. Zoning, you can call the Lancaster zoning, ask them to verify these facts. I mean, you're looking at the map, but they're not supposed to be there. So that's one of the reasons why they're getting sued. And this is another reason what they're violating. So you don't have to go to court to know whether this is true or not. So that's more information for you guys there. This is the alcohol beverage and control license. This one was originally applied for, I think, back in 2014, 2015, SHE Beverage Company. And for whatever particular reason, they withdrew the first two applications. And as you can see down here, this is their current license, which is suspended. So they can't do any alcoholic selling or tasting or whatever the case might be. They will be well out of compliance for trying to do anything with alcohol. Okay. So they shut down that facility. They don't have a license. I don't know why these first two were withdrawn. Let me go ahead and copy this here. This is at the ABC website. Again, you guys can go and do your own research as well. But let's take a look at this license. Now, I'm not sure what Lupe Rose was quoting or telling investors. Is my understanding that they were saying that this company was worth 100 billion or 150 million, some outrageous number. Well, I have a calculator and I started doing some math. Now, if you look at this license, and I'm not sure what she told everyone as far as what type of factory they're going to have or what type of beer manufacturing they're going to do, but they applied for a small beer manufacturing license. So I had to look this up. And in some cases, when you have a small beer manufacturing license, this limits you to anywhere between 500 barrels a year to about 60,000. So I can tell you this. I believe the most expensive beer you can get is, what is it? I'm not a beer guy. Keineken or whatever the case might be. I think it's well, anyway, a gallon or a keg of beer typically goes for 150 to $200. So this is roughly maybe $15 million a year if you're doing 60,000 barrels. If you're doing far less than that, you're getting significantly less money. So I'm not sure what number, or if Mr. Investor, she told you, oh yeah, we're going to get you guys $2 million return or 20 million. There's no way in hell they can get you 20 million when they're limited in the quantity of alcoholic beverages or kegs that they could produce in a year. The math doesn't lie. So as you can see here, a small beer manufacturer, less than 60,000 barrels per year. That's what they're restricted to. All the other guys, they can produce more. If it's a microbrewery, they could produce 15,000. But regardless, either of this is none of the case. Keep in mind, that place that they have is not zoned for the manufacturing or distribution of alcohol. And they know this. So they couldn't promise you one keg of beer at that location because it's not zoned and it's illegal. So they had you invested in some legal activity right off of the bat based upon what the city of Lancaster's map has to say. So let's go over here and look at this again. So even if a keg of beer costs $70, so let's do 70 times uh let's do 70 times 60,000. We'll do the high number. That's $4.2 million a year. So if they were promising anybody even more than that, or trying to quote the company's numbers were much higher, 100 million, 150 million, that's definitely far fetched than what they could produce because their license tell you, number 23, small business manufacturer, that they were limited in how much they could produce on a yearly basis. But anyway, this license is suspended. They can't do anything. And I'm still shocked the city of Lancaster hasn't taken it upon their own reconnaissance to go over there and cite them for something. All right. So again, here we have the Secretary of State's website. This is their information. The owners supposedly, but again, we don't know what the 10% margin is because we don't know how much money was taken in. So let's say hypothetically, if there was only $1 million taken in and you invested $100,000 or more, your name should be on here as an owner of the company. So again, that's one of the other problems. Now, I didn't even know this. And so again, as we kind of find out more information, you kind of start to see how deep they are into this entire process. Let me see if we're done with this. All right, let's go ahead and move this out of the way. All right, here we have the map, city of Lancaster. So additionally, earlier I did mention that SHE Beverage has about several different lawsuits against them. So here are a list or names of some of the companies or names or entities that have sued SHE Beverage so far. One of these, the EBF Partners LLC, that one was recently settled on the 7th of this month. So October 7th, this lawsuit, EBF Partners, has just settled. Probably because the SEC went after them and they started saying, well, you know what, screw it, maybe we got screwed. We ought to start trying to settle some of these things. But there are still several other pending cases against them. Now, Anthony Todd Farmer, I believe, was one of the first people to sue them back in July 30th, 2019. Now, again, investors, if you guys didn't know any of this stuff, this is stuff that they should have fully disclosed to you before you even invested a cent into the company. So you have the SHE Beverage Incorporated, a California corporation versus Anthony Todd Farmer. You also have Kim Babbage, Babbage versus SHE Beverage Company. This one's still pending, going has a lot of back and forth, and I believe this case is being taken care of in the city of Lancaster at that Michael D. or Michael A. Antonovich courthouse. To my knowledge, this one recently settled. The EBF Partners. I don't know the full disclosure amount. If you guys want the website to this, and you guys want to pay for all the court documents and stuff, you can go ahead and do that. Lancaster Marketplace, this was the one that I first showed you. This was the one that was initially started back in August of 2017. This one has been dismissed or settled or whatever. Now, this gets a little tricky. So apparently there is also a Willow Creek Village Lancaster Homeowners Association suing them as well. So the only thing I can speculate in regards to this is maybe they were renting out some apartments and doing business out of them, or maybe they had something going on. But this is a homeowners association suing them for something that's not even beer related. So I'm guessing, again, I'm guessing, I don't have any facts really backing this up, that they have an apartment building or a house somewhere and they went default on something, or they're having a dispute with the homeowners association. But anyway, in my personal opinion, and looking at this company name should not be listed as a lawsuit against the homeowners association. This is, it has nothing to do with beer or water or any type of manufacturing. So it looks like there's some other philandering going on with the money, where they're just maybe spending it frivolously, doing something. Well, we'll get into that a little bit later because you guys are going to be shocked to see a few things. Garrett Capital LLC, SHE Beverage Company. So there's another lawsuit against them. This was filed October 13th, a year ago, 2020. And then, of course, we also have, I think there's a few more here. This one was a personal lawsuit, Graciela Gomez versus Lupe Rose. So I don't have access to any of this information. Again, these are the representatives who own the company. This one was a personal lawsuit, has nothing to do with SHE Beverage, so to speak. Then we have another one, Yvette Espinoza versus SHE Beverage. This was filed March 14, 2017. And then, of course, there were some additional lawsuits filed earlier this year. So, like this Kim Babbage, this was filed October 6th. No, I think that's the last updated. But there's some additional lawsuits that was filed even earlier this year. So again, Mr. Investor, Mrs. Investor, if you guys are looking at this information, finding it out for the very first time, this is information that they have not disclosed to you that you should know because you are an investor. I should not be presenting this information to you. If these people were your homies and claim to be as nice as they said they have been or claim their innocence, why didn't they just bother to call you and say, "Hey, we're getting sued"? Because I know a lot of these investors were people or friends or family members of relatives or friends, or like, "Hey, Uncle John, you want to sign up?" They say, "Yeah." So how come you're hearing this information from me and not any of these people? That really makes you wonder, doesn't it? So again, so these are a list of all the lawsuits that have been filed, either dismissed or currently pending against SHE Beverage. Now, regardless if they are settled or not, or whatever the cases may be, playing devil's advocate, you're still supposed to know this stuff. I should not be telling you this. This is the stuff they should discuss in conference calls, emails, SEC filings, all this kind of stuff. Because I could tell you this: if I had invested in this company and I saw one of these lawsuits, I wouldn't have put my money in this because it makes them look shaky. I mean, did you know Lupe Rose had a lawsuit pending against them, against her back in 2017? Would you still have invested in the company? Probably not, because it makes a business or individual look shaky. So again, they hid this information from me. They know if they were being sued or not. This was a lawsuit they filed against somebody. This was SHE Beverage Company versus Hydro Brand. I'm not going to get into this. I just wanted to show you guys this information that this is another lawsuit. So even on the other side, even if they were suing somebody as an investor, this is stuff that you guys should have known about. So I'll go ahead and close this one out. Now, in case you're wondering what is on my screen here, this became some questionable stuff. So as I began to look up the SHE Beverage Company and look up trademark filings, they filed over 75 trademarks in the course of a year and a half, and every single one of them was abandoned. And I don't mean just abandoned like they forgot about it and they ended up getting lawyers and stuff. Looking at some of the documentation, which I will show you guys here in a few minutes, it was abandoned because it said they had no intention to use it. So I don't know what lawyer would take, is I understand what lawyers are supposed to operate with ethics and whatnot, but technically, well, let's back up a little bit. When you have a trademark, it's like a blank check. It's like an open-ended check. Each trademark that is on here, because you guys can see there's like 75 of these here. In fact, we'll go into that one. Each trademark is roughly $500 to about $1,100. That's a lot of money to put out to come back and say, well, we didn't have any intentions of using it. So some of the trademark names here: Queen of Beverages, you guys have seen that. That didn't stick. Queen of Diamonds, Splash Soda by SHE, Who is She, Who is She, She Lotta, Sip for Kids, Sip for Young, Curva's Fashion Week, okay, She Brews, She Fest, Elevated Hops, She Wards, She Fuels, She Defense, Cosmetics, Women Breweries Association. Now, a lot of these trademarks that were filed on here has absolutely nothing to do with alcohol, and so that's what also caught my attention as well. So again, typically when you file a trademark, it's somewhere between $500 to about maybe $1,100. Now, if somebody poses an opposition, you have no idea how much money you're going to spend. So any one of these trademarks could easily cost $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $25,000. It's like that's why I said it's like a blank check, because you don't know if there's going to be another company or somebody that tries to take you to court to oppose your trademark filing. So to file all these trademarks within a very short number of limited time is highly suspicious. This is more trademarks than most companies that are really legitimate. She Candid Verdinian Entertainment. Let's go ahead and open this up here because I want you guys to look at this. And this is what really caught my attention. Viridian Entertainment. This was filed after the SHE Beverage thing or whatever. September 14th, 2018. They did have an author for this. I'm sorry. They did have a lawyer for this. I'm sorry. So this trademark was filed for the purpose of entertainment. This has nothing to do with alcohol, no beverage whatsoever. Computer hardware, computer peripherals, computer software for personalized interactive television, film, and video game programming, and accompanying manuals distributed therewith, computer software, or to use generating, displaying, and manipulating visual media, graphic images, photographs, illustrations, digital animation, video clips, film footage, and audio data, smart watches, tablet computer, remote controls for computer peripherals, computer keyboards. Did you as an investor invest in any of this? Did you know any of this? This has nothing to do with alcohol. Now, regardless if you thought this was a good idea or not, you can't put money or expect people to invest in your company and then you start going willy-nilly in with the money and start filing a whole bunch of stuff under the company brand name when you have investors. Some of these have the same lawyer on them, and I'll pull up the actual USPTO website so you guys can see all this. I just wanted to pull this up because it uh, makes it look a little better. And I'll also mention if you go to SBA.com, this is the COVID loan, the PPA loan that they took out for $192,000. So they applied for a $192,000 loan, stating that they retained 26 jobs. Now, I don't know what 26 employees they have working over there, but the lender is Cross River Bank. And so this was taken out earlier this year. In fact, this was, yeah, taken out right after the ABC shut them down 2 months later, almost exactly. So there's an additional $192,000 that they took out for a loan, which is probably what they've doing for some additional monies. I'll go ahead and paste that here in the chat so you guys can see it. Again, this is some more information that investors are not aware of, that they're taking out loans to run their business. Let's see here, your skin, SHE Beverage. Let's back up. I'll leave the map here because I may use it here again in just a few minutes. So these are a list. This is a list of all the trademarks that they filed during the company's inception. Now, obviously, I'm aware that they need to file trademarks for their alcoholic stuff, but look at this: SHE Global Entertainment, program broadcasting, namely video, audio, radio, television, internet, and wireless. So she went again, abandoned, failure to respond, or late response. So some of these, I'll show you the actual documentation. I'm not going to go through all of them because we will be here for about a good 3 or 4 hours. Again, this took me about 5 days to research everything. Program broadcasting, namely video, audio, radio, television, internet, and wireless. So she decided to start branding and marketing everything that she wanted to accompany and do using this alcoholic beverage company. As you can see it here, because why would an alcoholic beverage company need to file for this? Let's see here. That's the PPO loan. And I will come back to this in a minute because that's very important. You guys will definitely want to see this. So let me find something else really quickly. I have some other articles I need to share with you. Let's see. Yeah, sex shoes. All right, so this was one of the other lawsuits that I mentioned earlier. This is Kim Babbage versus SHE Beverage Company Inc. et al. And I'm on a website called Unicourt, and some of these websites you can only access a few times in a day. So this is just an additional site here that shows you that there is a ongoing case here. I already mentioned this one here, but I just wanted to show you guys here as well. So let's go back to the official USPTO website, and let's go search for trademark. And we're going to type in SHE Beverage Company or Inc. And you want to type this in, SHE Beverage Company or SHE Beverage Inc. just like this, and then you want to search for all, and then you can leave it live or dead. It doesn't matter. Oops, didn't find anything. So let me go back here and let's do submit query. I think I searched the wrong one. I think it SHE Beverage. Let's do SHE Beverage Inc. All the information was there. I just want to try to simplify this for all of you. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and blow this up. Yeah, it's tricky on how you have to search through this. So everything that you see here that's dead is theirs. Everything. Everything. This is all the trademarks that have been filed within about approximately a year and a half, and every last one of them is dead. So you imagine this is over $70,000 worth of filing and not getting anything. And for those of you who really aren't too familiar with trademarks, your trademark is your brand. And I'm still doing research on this. I don't believe it's legal, and I do believe it's a requirement for you to have a legitimate trademark before you start selling alcohol, because the trademark is attached to your brand, and your brand is attached to that paperwork and the licensing that you have to file in order to get the rest of your paperwork. If you don't have a trademark, so for example, you file for SHE Beverage trademark or the name of your beverage, if you don't have that, then what are you putting on the application? You can't represent yourself as a business if it doesn't exist. And somebody else could probably be using that name. So that's the purpose of a trademark. The articles of incorporation or filing with the state, that means absolutely nothing. In fact, to operate in commerce, a state registering with the state of California means nothing. You need to have a trademark. So, as you can see here, there are a list of trademarks that were filed under the SHE Beverage name that has nothing to do with alcohol. In fact, even the women's football team, which was abandoned, as you can see here again, abandoned. Uh, well, it was abandoned, and exclusive, no exclusive rights to use. I guess she was going to trademark or start a women's football team. There's nothing. She's not an owner. She has absolutely no trademark in relative to what she want to do. So, for those of you who want to research this stuff on the USPTO website, excuse me, you want to obviously just go to the website USPTO, type in SHE Beverage Inc., and then you want to click on TSDR. Now, when you pull up TSDR, this will show you the actual documents that the USPTO sent to them. So as you can see it here, dead application, like everything else they're doing. So we have dead application, refused, dismissed, or invalidated. Abandoned after inter parties decision by the trademark trial and appeal board for further information. So a lot of these she just didn't even respond to. So here it is here on November 1st, 2019, notice of abandonment. So let's go ahead and pull it up. Now, this isn't my information. This is what the trademark department sent to him. The application above is abandoned based on a decision of the trademark trial and appeal board. So she just didn't even respond. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know. And also, too, Mr. Investor or Mrs. Investor, if you invested in this company and you invested 10% or more, then technically you would have been an owner of this football league as well, because your name would have been on this. And apparently, this company owns the football team and everything else that she's trying to grab at. For more information, the TTAB's policies and procedures, see the USPTO's webpage. On this, you can view the other documents here. So all the documents are on here. In fact, let's go ahead and back up just one, because I believe this is the reason for the filing here. The attorney's name is Ruth Kozla. She filed the trademark for Denver Pumas women's football team. It was in Arizona. That's where the law office is located. If you notice, she continued to go through this legal force company to file all of her trademarks, which none of them stuck. I mean, like, why didn't you just, fire them after the first time it couldn't go through, whatever. Uh, Denver's football team. It looks like here there's a new power of attorney. Somebody else is jumping on board. I think this attorney is excusing themselves. I'm not sure if this is the actual one, but there are a few documents where the attorney excused themselves and then somebody else took over. So you guys can research all this information here, but these are the list of all the trademarks that she has filed. So let me pull up that other one because I think that one listed a little bit better. Yeah, see, I like this website. It has, this one's better. All right, let's pull this one up. So I like this one because it gives you the quick list of everything. You kind of get a little better detail about everything. So you have Queen of Beers. Who is she? She Lotta. There's also some apps in here about some She Air, which also discusses some type of airlines app as well. Something that's far fetched that has nothing to do with alcohol and brewery whatsoever. So again, it's like they were just grabbing at straws. There's She Global Entertainment. That's one of them. Dallas Diamonds women's football team. So that's another one. Let's go ahead and pop that one open really quick. Abandon. And this is all accurate because I have the USPTO website in front of me, but this just details it a little bit better so you guys can kind of quickly go over it. Goods and services, organizing and conducting athletic competitions in the nature of football teams. So I don't know why everybody says that she owns a football team. She doesn't have anything. I mean, there's nothing here. Everything's abandoned. You can't do anything in this line of business if you don't have a trademark. That's just the way it works. Charlotte Cruz. So what is this? Organizing and conducting athletic competitions in the nature of football games. Abandoned. No statement of use file. So here again, she has a track record of filing trademarks and saying, "Oh, I didn't know I needed to use it." In fact, that's why she lost that Queen of Beers thing. Was that she used a similar name, and before you even file a trademark, you want to make sure you're unique, that your brand and your name doesn't resemble somebody else's brand. I wouldn't have even filed something like that, especially dealing with $1 billion alcoholic company to come in and say, "Oh, I didn't know I needed to have an intentional use in order to use it," and then you just waste your $500 or $1,100 trying to fight the thing and then trying to file. Makes no God-given sense whatsoever. All right, so here we have Atlanta Amazons team, Miami Jewels women's football team, Nashville Honeybees, abandoned, no statement of use filed. Again, just whatever. New Orleans Melody women's football team, abandoned, no statement of use filed. So there is no football team. I mean, there never was because none of this ever went through. Abandoned. No statement of use filed. This was filed back on January 25th, 2019. Now, keep in mind when all these trademarks were filed, if you look at these dates, she was already being sued. She Beverage was already being sued back in 2018, going back just a couple of years. So they just acted like, oh, Heidi he, hi hum. And so, Mr. Investor, Mrs. Investor, these are the football teams that she would have started that would have been owned by the SHE Beverage Company, which you would have been entitled as an owner, which you should have been listed as well. But um, let me see something here. Abandonment notice, email, no use to statement file. Just same thing. Just, just file something and then it doesn't even hold. All right, let's keep going. Boston Gypsies women's football team, Seattle. These are all the women's football teams that she thought she owned. San Diego Wave women's football team, Detroit, Los Angeles Fames football team. Again, abandoned. Nothing here. So I'm hoping and I'm wondering, did she take some of the investment money and start to brand herself with all this stuff without telling people? Oh, She Property Group. So apparently she wanted to be a real estate agent as well. Real estate agency services, real estate consultancy, real estate services, namely rental property management, real estate services, namely rental brokerage, leasing, and management of commercial property, offices, and office space. Now, you know what typically people do is they go out and trademark a bunch of stuff and say they're the owner and then try to substantially create a dollar value attached to their company when they don't have anything at all. And that's also listed in the lawsuit, was that she was telling people the company was worth 150 million or 100 million dollars This is the kind of stuff when people go out and say, "Hey, I own a football team," or "We own a football team," and we also own a beverage company. We also have apps. We also have toilet paper. We also have merchandise, and we have a TV programming station. Because they go out and file all this stuff, and it's pending, and it tries to build up their portfolio, so to speak. But it's just all fluff. I mean, there's nothing behind it. So yeah, I've never seen a beer company start doing real estate and a bunch of other stuff before that's listed here. SHE Management Group, real estate again. SHE Chamber, financial services now. So there was some talk because obviously the SEC says that none of these people have a license. And I've talked to some people and they say, well, that's not really a big issue whether they have a license or not to sell, to do securities and stuff. But I tell you one thing: if you are intentionally starting a business to open a financial service company, you definitely need to be licensed. And so this is what this additional brand is: abandoned. SHE Chamber. She filed a trademark and it was abandoned. So again, she's filing a trademark for something she doesn't even have a license for, according to the SEC. Not my words, but according to the SEC and everything listed in the lawsuit. Dirden, Sonja, none of them have financial securities license. Now, even if you signed up for people helping people or whatnot, they cover you. You get one license, you're allowed to do all these things. So at least at the very bare minimum, they should have had all of that involved here, or at least been licensed to do so. Because that's a subsequent company. That's something entirely different. So in order to even start the financial service company, you definitely need to be licensed. Dietary and nutritional supplements, abandoned. Pharmaceutical and veterinary sanitary preparations, dietary nutritional supplements, dietary beverage supplements for human consumption, liquid, and doing some other stuff. So, oh, here we go. The Bank of SHE. So apparently now she wants to open up a bank doing insurance services, namely insurance administration, insurance agency services, and financial services, namely financial analysis, financial advice, and consultancy services banking. So she trademarked the name to start a bank without even having an app or anything to do so. So you know what? Let's stop right here. Let's bounce back over to the actual USPTO website. And some of this stuff I had to kind of cross reference because I do have the name. But let's see the next list here. Okay, that one's not on the list. Let's take a look and we'll type up. Okay, it's already here. The Bank of SHE, abandoned as usual. Insurance agency. So she wants to start an insurance agency and not have a license for that. Yeah, this is all fraud. I don't think we need to question that any further, but that's all fraud. All right, so this is the notice of abandonment, August 24th, 2020. The above application, application above is abandoned because we did not receive within 6 months of the notice of allowance, the NOA. So again, this is just some fluff where she just submitted and didn't intend to use it. Again, not my words. This is the USPTO. It's right here. You guys can research all this yourself. So didn't decide to use anything. Just coming up with names and just throwing something against the wall, seeing what would stick. All right, let's go back here. I think I got beside myself here. USPTO, trademark. All right, so let's go ahead and back up. Let's take a look at another one. SHE Airlines. So this is another funny one here. Abandoned. Downloadable mobile application for making and checking reservations, searching fares, making travel arrangements, accessing boarding passes, providing information and updates in the fields of travel, transportation, and loyalty award programs, ticketing passengers, and checking flight statuses. So I don't even know if some of the other ladies, as far as Katherine Dirden or Sonja, were aware that. First of all, I'd like to know. I mean, obviously, I believe Lupe Rose was the one doing a lot of this stuff, or if they were all in it, because the word through the grapevine is Kat Durden claims to be innocent, and she doesn't know a lot of this stuff. But you can't completely say you're innocent when your name is on the articles of incorporation with the state, and your name is on the bank account, which it is, but yet you don't have any names of the other investors uh, on the paperwork, and that can be proven because the agent I spoke with said we don't know how much money was taken in, and again, we don't know how much, who invested, and that's supposed to be listed when you file for your SEC, according to the SEC and according to ABC. So that's why they're under investigation, and that's why, uh, yeah, they're getting served. All right, so let's see. Night Witches. What is this? This is abandoned. I wonder if this is one of the football teams. Everything abandoned here. Now, this is really extreme. 75 or so trademarks within the course of a year. that's that's like one a week. Or like one a week. So there's like what 52 weeks in a year. So that's like one a week for a year and a half. Okay, so this is for bottled water. This wasn't for a football team. Again, no statement of use. So I don't know what they were trying to panhandle, but they didn't have a sole basis to establish any business with no trademarks on anything that they came up with. Again, this is just all fluff. There's nothing concrete here. In fact, I'm not even sure if SHE Beverage right now is currently trademarked due to the fact that the file or the trademark expired August 11th of this year. All right, give me 1 second here. I think somebody online is asking me a question. All right, let's keep moving on. Let's pull up another one here. SHE Fuel. Uh, I think this one's actually a beverage. There's a few of these are actually a football team. So let me Bank of SHE Diamonds. She's the only one. Oh, here we go. See, this is where it really starts to get silly. So you have She's the Only One, cosmetic skin soaps, non-medicated face soap face, and body cream. Yeah. SHE Airlines. I'm not sure what this is. What is this? I'm curious now. Coffee, cocoa, or tea. Okay. So now she wants to open up a jewelry store. SHE Luxury. Previous stones, diamonds, necklaces, earrings. Yeah. So she wants to open. Yeah. Well, she got more going on than Facebook. Diamond Bowl. What is this? Bottled water. Okay. So another questionable thing is how does she get contracts with places like Target and some of these gas stations? Because there has to be some type of internal paperwork. They have to check dot your I's, cross your T's. And from my understanding, it's really difficult to get inside of Walmart and some of these other places. I'm not sure about how the gas stations because you just can't walk in off of the street and say, "Hey, here's my product," and and sell it. Your stuff has to be legitimate, and so I'm sure there's going to be some additional issues there that they're going to eventually look into because if none of these things have trademarks, if they're making a statement saying that this kind of stuff cures cancer, these companies have to be very mindful of who they align themselves with when people are making those kinds of claims. Uh, so yeah, so that'll require some additional investigation. I won't be doing it because that's a lot of work. Here we have again Curva's Fashion Week. So now this beer company is also doing fashion shows too. So I guess they're going to be over in Paris. Education and entertainment services, namely organizing fashion shows for. I'm going to stop right there. Okay, let's go to the next one. She Fest Education Music Festival. Okay, so I guess they're going to be like Coachella now. Education, providing and training. Again, Mr. and Mrs. Investor. This is where you put your money, and somebody that apparently has their hands in so many different things. And this is not the first time she's done this. There are YouTube videos on her back in 2013, 2012 when she's doing some type of news interviews and stuff. So it's like she's all over the place. And this tends to be her MO, where Lupe Rose goes around coming up with different trademarks and gimmicks and trying to get people to invest and doing some things. Of course, we'll wait to see what the trial has to say. But in regards to this, no, she's guilty as hell. Education, providing and training, entertainment, sporting, cultural activities, education, providing of training, entertainment, sporting, and cultural activities. No notices were sent to any investors regarding this about what she was planning on doing or expanding upon the company. And you should know this before you even invest your money. You need to know. You need to have, when you give your money to a company, or I'm sorry, not give, but invest, you need to have a blood sample, uh, stool sample, anything that you need to have to find out if they're legitimate and what they're planning on doing with your money in the direction of the company. They just look really unstable here. She Awards, retail store services, and online retail store services featuring food, beverage, gifts, memorabilia, and souvenirs. Okay, that was almost kind of close, but no. I mean, I'm not buying it, but it is what it is. She Defense, abandoned again. Beers, mineral, and okay, this one is an alcoholic beverage. Okay. Women's Brewery Association, She Cosmetics, bleaching and preparation of other substances for laundry use, cleaning, polishing, scouring, and abrasive preparation, soaps, perfumery. So yeah, again, they're into everything. So I'm not going to read all the rest of these. Just kind of scroll through some of the foolery here. She TV Media is a She a thing. I don't know. They have a thing with the She thing, whatever. She Sugar, bitter, better beer, can of fuel, She. I don't even see how they could trademark the word she. I mean, that's just a waste of money. The thing about trademarks is you can't typically trademark something that's a regular word like apple or maybe red or, something that's really common. I mean, there are maybe some legal instances for that, but you got to be careful. You got to be creative when you're submitting $500, almost $1,100, trying to file for a trademark. This is obviously going to be called a beer. So that's definitely well within the realm of what they were trying to do, but didn't go through. And again, all of these are abandoned. She Global Entertainment, I think we've covered that a little bit. Charlotte Cruise. Yeah, I think we mentioned this one earlier. So again, these are just some of the names that they have on here as far as SHE Beverage Company Incorporated trademarks. Again, all of these fell through. There's no validity to any of these. Most of these just fell apart just quite recently. So, but this is where your money's going. I mean, because I couldn't imagine that they came out of pocket just to do all this. Because who files 75 trademarks like this out of their own personal pocket? I mean, really? She Airlines, I think we mentioned this mobile app downloadable, mobile app for checking reservations and stuff. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and close this one out, but I will leave this in the chat if I already haven't. All right, so let me go ahead and close this one out. Let's move on to something else. And again, I'm not on here giving you guys my personal opinion. This is a full-on investigation and digging deep to everything that could be found publicly against this company and She Beverage, because I don't want to get on here and you guys think I'm saying something off the top of my head or I'm making something up. These are the facts. And if you didn't know any of these facts after making an investment into a company, then that is part of the problem. Because again, I've seen people say, "Oh, they're innocent," or "You got to wait till the trial comes up," and all this other stuff. No, 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 no. It's kind of like watching a football game. You guys are familiar with the sports, football game, basketball. You know how they have instant replay. You're familiar with the rules. And let's say the ball was thrown out of bounds, or something happened, or there's a flag on the play, you could go watch the review. Now, you can watch before the referee makes a decision, meaning the judge in this case or lawyers. You can watch the instant replay in slow motion from several different angles before the referee makes a decision. That's what we're looking at here. We're looking at the instant replay of everything before the judge and the attorneys make a decision about what's going to happen. So you already have the evidence here in front of you. They're just doing their due diligence and their purpose. All right, so here we have the Queen of Beer trademark. Let's go ahead and skip this. Again, these are all the trademarks that she looked up. This is just another website that popped up, and again, that also gives everything credit. There was something. Oh, you know what? Before I forget, I have to show you guys this. Give me a second here. I don't want to forget to show you guys this because this is very important. Let's go ahead and pull up my pictures. All right, so for those wondering where your money is, this is where your money is. So if you have a pen and paper, I did reach out. I did my own private investigation. This is where the shares are being held. In fact, the ABC didn't even know where the money was being held. Now, I don't know if there is a particular dollar amount that is associated. Ooh, excuse me. That is associated with this, but I can tell you this is where your shares are being held. So if you want to write this down, the company is actually based in. Give me a second here. I want to pull up. Oh crap! I hope I didn't lose my app. Okay, so this is where your money is being held. It is being held at Broad Ridge Global Headquarters. I don't have the because I did call them and I did speak with them, and they do have the shares there. Um, it is based in Florida, but that is the number to get your money. Now, they said if anybody wanted to withdraw their money, you would need to go through a broker. So if you guys didn't know this, this is who has your money, but you need a broker to pull it out. So I'm not sure how or what the SEC is going to do as far as trying to get people their money back. But for those of you who didn't know, that is the phone number to where your funds are being stored. I did speak with them. They that isn't the direct number. In fact, I think the direct number starts with the 3. I don't have it in front of me or anything. I was just trying to gather up all this information today. It took me about 3 or 4 hours to calculate, get all this stuff together. But that's where you can get that information. 1-800-353-0103. I went on the website. I spoke to them for about a good 30 minutes. But excuse me, I mentioned some names of some people that I do know, and they say, yeah, all the shares are there. You know, let's say $1.50 a share or $3 a share, and how many shares. It was the actual amount. But again, I don't know if you pull it out, does it have a cash value attached to it? I'm not really familiar with that sort of thing. But if you didn't know, there's your information right there. All right. Let's see what else we have here. Uh, so apparently, Lupe Rose, in a separate filing, she has another LLC called In Your Skin Boutique, and it's also registered with some other girl's named Alicia Bell. I'm not sure if this is tied in with SHE Beverage or anything. That's the information right there. I'm not sure if it is or not. It does come up with SHE Beverage in some shape, form, or fashion. But this was something I was able to pull up in your skin boutique. But again, I don't know if she's took some of the money to file some of this stuff to branch off and do another business. But there you guys have it. So these are some of the things that she's also involved in as well. So I'll go ahead and close this out. But there's the information. In Your Skin Boutique LLC is also owned by Lupe Rose, not by SHE Beverage. Here's some additional information. In Your Skin Boutique LLC is a California domestic limited liability company filed on November 2nd, 2020. The company's filing registered. Now, keep in mind, while some of these trademarks were filed or whatever, um, they were still being shut down by the ABC. So again, why didn't they call and say, "Hey guys, you know, we've been homies for 10 or 15 years. You know, uh, they're coming after us. You know, just give them a heads up." Or why didn't they say anything before the lawsuit was filed? Really shady stuff. So again, there's more information there. In Your Skin Boutique LLC. That is owned by Lupe Rose, and I think she has a partnership with someone as well. So again, there you guys have it. All right, give me 1 second here and jump back on. Let's see here. And that's just more information there. Same thing, In Your Skin Boutique. That's all the information if you need to get a hold of them, whatever. But my understanding is she's been in hiding. So there's that business information right there. Secretary of State. I believe this is the website where your shares are being held. I'd have to double check on this because I know my screenshot's a little different than this. It took me a little while to find out who actually had the shares, but I do know that it is Broadridge, but it is I think it's called Riverwater. I think that's the name of the company that's in Florida that has the money. I think that company is a branch of Broadridge. So you guys can look it up. Let's see here. We covered the SHE Beverage. I have all these. I have like 40 different tabs open because I wanted to make sure I can kind of go through this as quickly as possible with everyone. So there is the loan, the COVID loan that they did receive, the PPP funded loan. They received $200,000 or $192,000 in addition to the other investments that they've received as well. Again, they didn't tell anybody that they were taking out a loan as well. That again, that's why they're being sued. Again, owner gender, female owned. That's a lie because we don't know what the true dollar value is of how much money they've taken in. It could also be male too. So, yeah, so there could be some additional owners that we aren't aware of because they haven't disclosed anything with their filing. But I'm still kind of shocked to know that ABC didn't know um, how much money they've taken in. And again, all that kind of stuff has to be on a paperwork when filing a business. And I looked up ABC. They actually do quite a bit of investigations. They just don't go after companies with breweries and alcohol. They actually also do child trafficking or human trafficking as well. They're basically sheriffs that enforce the law. So they have a lot of uh, scope in terms of what they can do and who they can go after. Issue date November 1st. This is 2019. The application above is abandoned. This is for her women's football team that, nothing ever seems to stick. SHE Beverage. This is another website you can go to kind of search some stuff. So again, there's probably I think about 5 or 6 lawsuits still pending against this company right now. That is still going on. Again, one of the lawsuits, the EBF lawsuit, was settled. This Kim Babbage, I have no idea who she is. Maybe she was an investor. And how come this person, if they knew something about SHE Beverage, didn't really reach out to anybody else? But I mean, I can't blame them. I mean, nobody has to, but I'm just saying it would have been nice for this kind of stuff to make the news even before the SEC got involved. So her lawsuit was filed some time ago. So this is another individual. I'm not sure if she was an investor or not, but Kim Babbage filed a lawsuit against SHE Beverage as well. And this case is still pending. Courthouse, Stanley Moss Courthouse, but I could have swore I've seen some courthouses at that Michael D. Antonovich building in Lancaster. So we'll go ahead and close this out, but you guys have it there for your own personal records. In fact, I'll go ahead and add this one to the chat if you guys want to start web surfing and looking around, trying to find a lot of other information. These aren't my words. This is everything that is made public. Let's see. Form S1, SHE Beverage Company registration for securities. This isn't my strong point here, but I do know that they did register for a securities license, but it was not done accurately. And I have several legitimate sources confirming that. So I'll just bounce out of that because I'm not going to get into it. So this was the original trademark that she filed back in 2019 or 2010. That says the Queen of Beer abandoned. And if you read the court documents on this, it said that she didn't know that she had to use it. That's just really a bad excuse for money. When you get a trademark, you want to make sure that you're going to use it for something. You don't want to possibly put in $500 and then end up spending $25,000 to $40,000 trying to defend it. That is not the purpose. You don't do something like this. Just filing for trademarks. I'm really surprised. I know she filed this one by herself based upon what the court documents and stuff have said, but You don't do that. I mean, not with this kind of thing. I mean, this is total waste of money. Surprised one of these lawyers didn't tell her that. I mean, really? All right. Trademark application abandoned, failure to file timely or submit. I forgot what is this SOU. Yeah, statement of use. So failure to file timely statement of use. So that's what an SOU means. It means that she didn't reply saying how she was going to use it. This gives the appearance that she was just tossing names around and say, "Hey, I want to file something," thinking it would stick, and then you know when you file a trademark, you have to have some type of commerce. You have to have an actual product. You have to have YouTube account, a website. You have to have T-shirts, memorabilia. You have to have some form of legitimate property, something that's physical that you're actually going to use. You just can't make up a name or a word off the top of your head and say, "I want to trademark it." It has to be something you're going to use. It has to be a physical item that somebody can either buy, watch, uh, you can edit some type of service that you're going to offer, even if you were offering consultation services. It has to be something tangible or physical. It can't and all of this stuff that she looks like she's coming up with are just names and words and just ideas off the top of her head and then filing it. And that's at almost like $100,000 worth in filing fees. So that, I have to explain that for those of you out there who may not understand this whole process. This is really extreme. And to see that this amount of money went into this is careless. It's careless. And I understand Dirden and Sonja, they're on a, I wonder if they were all in on it or if this was something Lupe Rose was just doing. Because according to all the articles that I've read, I didn't see their names, as far as Dirden and Sonja's on this women's football team. Every filing or documentation video that I saw said Lupe Rose owned a women's league football team. Their names weren't anywhere to be mentioned, even though all these names and everything that's affiliated with this stuff and all the trademarks are affiliated with SHE Beverage. So, yeah. I mean, I honestly wonder if I'm gonna look through one of these really quick and see if uh, anybody else's name was listed on here, because that's just really, really strange that only her name. If you guys have seen all the media, the stuff on Instagram and stuff, it says, "Oh yeah, Lupe Rose, she owns the women's football team." No, if that's the case, no, it's owned by SHE Beverage because that's the name that is uh, filed on here. It doesn't say Lupe Rose; it says SHE Beverage. So I'm just, that's just really particular about that because that is the legal definition of who the actual ownership is or who the actual owner is. Uh, Same old stuff. She don't know what she wants to do with it. Let's see. Here is the application. Let's take a look at the application really quick because I haven't seen some of these. Here's the attorney's name. There's where he's based out of. There's the filing name, SHE Beverage, legal force, all this other stuff. Okay. I don't see the documentation because typically when you file a trademark, the person filing the trademark also needs to sign on it. So I haven't seen who's the signature page of the CEOs or any reps of SHE Beverage. So that should be on here somewhere. Just like the state of California filing, you see all three ladies' names on there. Okay. Well, all right. We'll close that out. We'll move on. So again, you guys have more than enough information. Let me see if there's anything else we need to finish up on here, and then we will go ahead and close out. I know I've been going now for about a good hour and a half. I hope you guys have taken advantage of this information, found it helpful. I don't think that I will do any more videos on this particular subject because I just wanted to really get this out. In fact, I had thought about doing this a few weeks ago, then kind of put it off, but I'm not the kind of individual that likes to sit back and people are taking advantage of. And maybe you don't know how to research and find some of this stuff, but this is all the stuff that you should have known. Even if all you did was put in $500 and you just hope to make some money back. And like I've said previously, heck, even if they took all this money and put it into Bitcoin or something, you would have at least made $1 million if you had put in at least $20,000. Oh yeah, yeah, some of you guys would have been millionaires already. All right, so let's go ahead and close this one out, and close all these windows out that I don't need. Make sure there is. And let me see, U.S. Secretary of State, Kim Babbage, trademark filing. I'm just going to start closing out a lot of windows. That way it lets me know where I am on. So yeah, there's all the lawsuits here. Yeah, Kim Babbage, she shows up at the top again. All right, guys. Well, I think that really wraps it about up. Again, this is TJ here from the Adventure Channel. I hope you guys have really enjoyed this video of everything that you see here. These are just all the facts that everything that I just definitely wanted to put out, give you investors and other people who are curious some foundational information about what's being investigated against SHE Beverage. So, just a quick recap. Yeah, they were busted by the ABC. They don't have proper documentation. Their license is suspended. There's nobody supposed to be at that facility. They may claim that they have something operating over there. Well, the problem, where's my map? I'm gonna find my map. They aren't supposed to. They're not zoned in a industrial area. So again, this is the place where they have their business, which is not zoned for the manufacturing of alcohol or anything else they're really doing over there. So they need to be in a gray area. And I don't have my zoning map here in front of me. Let's see if I have something here. No, they did sign up for paycheck protection. That's something else. Trademark. Let's see, City of Lancaster. Zoning. Yeah, which we already looked up. So, all in all, guys, for those of you having interesting conversations with others out there in the community, please keep in mind that yeah, they are not zoned. Their license has been restricted. The ABC doesn't even know who their investors are. If you invested 10% or more, then you are an actual owner of the company. This is not a female-owned company. All right, so that's one of the other false stories that they're making up. Katherine Dirden, she's as guilty as the rest of them, regardless if she knew what was going on or not. Her name is on the bank account. That's why she's listed in the website. Listed in the complaint as well. And all this stuff is going on with your money. But again, I've showed you guys where your shares are. I don't know if they actually have a dollar value attached to it. We don't know if they're using the money that has been invested in the company to defend themselves from all these lawsuits. But they should have spoken out. And all this information of all these lawsuits should have been presented in mailers and informed to investors to let people know what's going on with their company. There should have also been a record kept of minutes of who is an owner, who invested what. There's none of that. And if the SEC and the ABC don't know and they're looking to find out, I'm sure the IRS will be on their heels too, because that is stuff that you have to detail and list. Again, this is one last look of the city of Lancaster. As you can see here, this is light and heavy industrial, all gray, and their business is listed here. And I'm not accusing them of this, but what this appears to look like is they wanted a better storefront. They didn't want to be in an industrial area because this area over here is barren and plain. I mean, there's absolutely nothing over here off of LA, which is where they were originally, down here at the bottom. And they opened up a business over here. Oops. I'm sorry, they open up a business over here in a commerce area, which looks more attractive, where they could do like little dinner meals and, have a little high heel kicking good time, that kind of thing. But that's just not the way it works. It is not zoned for manufacturing or distributing anything whatsoever in that vicinity. So again, this is L8 right here in this area where, in fact, is that it? Let me just double check really quick. It was down a little further. L8. Yeah, it's in that area right here. So this is it. So, that pretty much wraps it up for me, guys. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you guys want to send a donation or something. I definitely appreciate that. I will tell you, this is a lot of work. Some of you have been asking me about class action lawsuits. You'll have to do your own due diligence. I'm not an expert on that, but that is something you're going to have to research too, because that will take up some money. Or if you have your own money for a lawyer, but again, we don't know what the current payout is with one of the other lawsuits that they settled out. And then, of course, there's already pending lawsuits against them as well. So primarily, you have to kind of get a wait in line, so to speak, because there's all these other lawsuits going on, and I don't know all the full details about that. Now, if you do want to pay some money to this website, you can get all the printouts and stuff like that to find out what's going on with these cases. But that about wraps it up for me. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this channel. This was really a lot to cover. I hope I didn't confuse anybody bumping around and jumping to places to place to place. But this was a lot of information for me to present to everybody and give it to you in a constructive way where you can kind of see what you got yourselves involved in, who these people really are, why you don't need to wait to a trial to say no, whatever's going on with this particular company. Because this is stuff you could research yourself. And I have spoken to the city of Lancaster, and they said no, they're not supposed to be doing anything over there. And the same thing goes for the ABC. You can pick up the phone and call them at the Van Nuys office. You can call the alcohol. Let me see. Let me see if this is the actual. I want to make sure. ABC California. Let's see, it's abc.gov. abc.gov. Is the alcohol beverage consumption? Van Nuys. All right, so this is the office handling the investigation. This is 6150 Van Nuys Boulevard, Van Nuys, California, 91411. They are the office that has jurisdiction over this case and everything going on with SHE Beverage right now. So if you don't like or agree with anything that I had to say, pick up the phone, spill your guts to them. 818-901-5017. That's who you want to talk to. If you got some further information, I'm sure one of the agents would be glad to hear it. So, again, guys, this is TJ here with Angelica on the Adventure Channel. Please check out our other stuff. We are a fun channel here that believes in having fun, traveling, doing suit reviews, going to different trade shows, and all this other fun stuff. But again, I had to get this off my chest and let people know what was going on, because apparently I don't see any fire coming out of anybody else. And that concerns me when people have invested a lot of money and they're not upset. They're not kicking in doors, so to speak. I'm not saying do that literally, but you guys know what I mean. Somebody took a bunch of your money. You don't know what's going on with it. You should be upset. It should bother you. So again, guys, all have a good night. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out. Bye-bye.